we had some positive news this week. Derek Chauvin has been found guilty on one count of unintentional second-degree murder. He was also guilty on count 2, third-degree murder, and guilty on count 3, second-degree manslaughter. How are we doing with this news? How are you feeling?
That happened on 420. It was an amazing turn. You know, it was good. I mean, yeah, a guilty verdict. It's a step in the right direction, but it's still not enough for policy change and change of practicing as far as terms of policing and just making sure that we hold people accountable and that no one is above the law.
Mm-hmm.
I think what we witnessed during this trial was the blue wall kind of crumble for the first time in like our history, like watching cops say this was wrong, like this was wrong, we took it too far, and we're willing to take it on the stand to testify to that. And the look on his face when they were reading out the verdict, he was like, wait a minute, I'm a white cop in America.
Not your privilege declined.
He was like, wait a minute. Literally, it was like, I was like, wait, what?
Any words about it? They call this great.
So it feels good that that George Floyd's family did get justice.
Yeah. So, I love the family's response when they see it was a real empowering moment. DeRay McKesson also said something that was interesting too. Is like, you know, I'm glad that everyone is happy about the news or whatever, but you know, the work is still, you know, we still got.
You know, you always have to have the party pooper. Like, okay, we excited for now.
It wasn't I mean, I didn't take it as a party pooper. I just felt like it was like, yeah, it's cool because there was other people that echoed the same thing.
I mean, I feel that. I mean, that's what I said. I let off with. You know, the guilty verdict it's still not enough, but there are policy changes that need to take place and some change of practice throughout policing in our country. So this was a great start.
It's a great start.
And congratulations to Black Lives Matter, because we proved that the movement does matter and you can change things when people stick together. When we get loud, and sometimes, you know, not pro-riding, but like sometimes you just got to burn shit down. America respects property and money, and when you step in between that, outside of the human aspect of it, like things are going to change. It's always been that way. So
we love to see it,
but we couldn't take too much of a sigh of relief because that same day there was another police involved shooting. I think she's 15 or 16.
She was 16 years old. Khia
Bryant. Yeah. So that kind of came as like a downer. But you know, the fight isn't over. You know, it's a marathon, not a race. So you just have to take one relay at a time.
Right. And just because you brought her up, that happened like the same day. Like literally right after we got the news of, you know, Derek Chauvin. But like, this was an interesting story though, because this stirred up a lot of conversation. So what was reported was that she was shot and killed by police officer Nicholas Reedon. And Khia was the one that called the cops because she was getting jumped. And when the cops came, you know, in defense, she had a knife in her hand, you know, trying to defend herself. By the time the cops came, the cops shot her because she looked like she was the aggressor.
Because she had a knife.
Because she had a knife.
She had a knife, so shot her.
And he didn't realize that was the one that actually called the cops. But there's two different sides of the story that I'm hearing now, because I want to just highlight on just what people were just talking about. They were saying that she was the aggressor. There's some people that are saying that. Whether or not she was the aggressor, she wasn't, she started the fight, she didn't. At the end of the day, I feel like there's other ways in breaking up a fight. If someone's getting jumped, you could have used your taser. You could have shot 2 warning shots. There's people that said there's security guards that break up brawls with people using knives. So it's like you resort to the gun. Like you literally, like in real life, jumped the gun, literally.
A lot. I feel, it's sad that, there are good cops out there. I will
Mm-hmm.
say that, that are community driven and really want to change the way that we look at policemen, policewomen. But then you have some who become cops because their whole life they've been afraid,
Mm.
or they were bullied, or whatever. And so this is a caveat for them to, feel that sense of authority, and sometimes they just get overwrought with it. And I think that what we saw in a lot of other cases, one of their excuses is always, I feared for my life,
Mm-hmm.
or because they tell them like your job is just to go home every day. But my thing is, a 16-year-old girl with a knife, and you shot her, whether she was the aggressor or not. Like, you shot her.
Mm-hmm. And there was also people that brought up many instances where white people had
people no more. I'm just
right. There was many instances where white people had guns. They actually had lethal weapon. Well, knife is a lethal weapon too, but they had guns and they got off scotch-free. The person that shot up that church, they took him to fucking Burger King.
Yeah.
So it's like y'all don't know how
and
to.
She was afraid when they got there. Like even if she had a knife, or when she realized that they probably drew guns on her and they probably scared her. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah. But believe you me, if you would have did those 2 warning shots, I'm willing to bet you that fight would have stopped, because hey, cops are really like revered by a lot of people. So you would shot the warning shot, it would have ended everything. But now you have to explain to yourself of why you chose what you chose, and you can say, okay, heat of passion, this, that, and the third, but like still. There was other ways. There were just other ways.
They went to jail.
But see, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know, because there's a lot of people that are very torn by this. I watched, not only were conservatives gonna have their talk. I heard Candace Owens say what she said. Donald Trump made a statement. He wrote something. I'm like, child. And we have people on The View it was kind of torn. Whoopi Goldberg was on the side of Micaiah, while Meghan McCain and actually Sarah, I was very surprised about her response, but like they were kind of on the side of like, hey, well, we kind of don't know what was really going on, and that we need to, further investigation and, get into the bottom of what happened. But I seen the video. They showed the video on The View. I mean, they only showed the part where he shot her. But I mean, what led up to it, who is who, it's still up in the air. So, I mean, I don't know.
Well, the fight don't stop.
Right. We'll see how this goes.
Right.
And it's crazy. Like people, like they did a list of all the occasions where it's like over 300 incidents this year. Like I was like, what? Because half the stuff we just didn't even know about.
Right. Oh yeah, it happens every day. Like the ones that make the news are the stories now that people are sharing, thanks to cell phones and like Twitter, and people are able to share the information a lot quicker. Otherwise, we may have never known. If it were not for cell phones, the George Floyd case, I feel like the outcome would have been totally different if there was not a video evidence, people actually recording what was happening. We saw that around the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, child, I don't know. Just